She's turning 100 this weekend.
Damn.
Shout out to Grandma.
Yeah, shout out to Selma.
So that one probably wins on the
history.
historic value.
Yeah, the vibe though too in there. It's like it's like if the wood could talk. I mean, at the same token,
Intimate setting, because I have not been able to catch a show at the Beacon.
It's
big?
Intimate.
It's big, but it feels intimate. The
I
sound
think it
there
holds
is
about
incredible.
2,000 people.
Yeah, it's like
and
2,000
it's
cap.
beautiful.
All those rooms
It's
were
beautiful in
big.
there.
When I think of intimate, I definitely don't think of something in the thousands. I would
No,
think of
no.
something like 500. So when you
Yeah,
said 2,000, I'm like, fuck,
No, but
I
it
guess
feels,
that is intimate.
But
for
it
New
has
York.
a really, right. It has a really intimate vibe. And the sound in there, just acoustically, it's really incredible. And also visually incredible. There's this massive, like, I don't know what you would call it. I guess it's a spire, but it's like inverted. So it's hanging down from the middle of the ceiling.
Oh, you're quoting Top Gun now. I was inverted. Is that what we're doing? No? Sorry, went
All right,
totally
Goose.
different direction. Yeah.
The Beacon was amazing. There's this elevator back there that has all these signatures in it. And all over the venue backstage, there's pictures of you name it in that elevator. It's kind of a thing they do, So just also the Ryman Auditorium, excuse me. Yeah, in Nashville. In terms of the history, the pews there, like these wooden pews, I've been there, and it's like just incredible to be able to, I don't know, I think there's a lot of power in spaces, physical spaces that have been inhabited by people, for better or worse. I mean, you walk into a room, sometimes you're like, what the fuck is up in here? It's like, feels like somebody's been murdered in this room or something.
You're talking about my bedroom, yeah.
It's just like, I guess I'm just saying it goes either way. Like, the vibe in a place is definitely built upon the experiences that have been had there. So these venues, who knows how many people have had their lives transformed by the music they've heard there, the shows they've seen there, the music they performed there on those stages. So to be able to just be in the room, I got to see Greensky play there too after, we would play our set and then get to hang out in these incredible venues and watch the music. And it was amazing, and honestly, for me to be able to travel and make music with the likes of Neil Casal and Adam McDougall, Dan Horn, and, we've got a great crew of people with us, and the people that have been coming to see our shows are just so kind, and, it's been amazing, just really, really, really amazing. And this year in 2020 coming up after this year is looking really exciting for Circles Around the Sun.
And we'll tease that without giving away any dates, but y'all do have a nice little spring coming up. And so for those that are curious where you can catch Mark and the boys, you will go find them on Instagram, Circles Around the Sun. You can also catch their website. Same name applies. And you'll be able to see if, when your best chance is to catch these guys, whether it be in Mark's home state or whether you're an East Coaster that loves to listen to this podcast, because it definitely relates. Definitely go check out Circles Around the Sun. And so it kind of makes it difficult to ask my next question, which would be, and it's the same thing, you mentioned Greensky, and we've asked Paul the same thing about, they did their little Japanese run where we were like, let's talk about Mario Kart and shit like that. But it's, we want to be like, where's the best thing you ate, or the best city that's maybe a sleeper? But you mentioned New York and Nashville, and both of those, are very prominent in food industries.
Epic food towns.
Do you have sleepers? Like, is there like Tulsa, Oklahoma, a good food spot? Or where's the place that you're like, fuck yes, this is on our tour stop, I'm going to eat, a Philly and Philly cheesesteak in Philly? Do you have something like that? Like, there's a city where you're excited to get back to for other reasons besides the show?
I mean, we've already talked about the two places that like immediately come to my mind are hot chicken in Nashville.
Yeah, that's what I was like, shit, I may ruin this question.
Yeah.
John's on Bleecker and pizza.
We got Hattie B's in Nashville, and then we went to Katz's Deli in New York.
The Jewish delicatessen.
Yeah. Crazy. I mean, it should come with like an appointment with your cardiologist or something. It's like the amount of meat. It's crazy. But it was amazing.
Littman's really excited. You see how excited that we used the word Jewish? He got so fired up. He was like,
he's getting the meat sweats just thinking about Katz's. So,
Mark's a fellow member here as well.
Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm a tribe member. Card carrying.
Tribe member. See, if you were this witty, Littman, we would have to ask you more Jewish questions. But corned beef or pastrami?
I'm the host.
Quick little rapid fire.
Pastrami.
Okay. You never know.
Sneak it in there.
Favorite
if you're talking about a
Jewish deli
sandwich.
in Denver?
Bagel Deli?
Yeah, over there off Hamden.
Yeah, I actually just had that this morning after my dentist appointment.
And you're like, I earned it.
It's true.
I'm about to go
True
fuck that
fucking
shit
story.
up.
Yeah, it was good.
Hey, is this a hot take? Matzo ball soup, just all right.
No, wait, what? Just all right?
It's from Bagel Deli. I didn't think it
He
was.
doesn't-
Oh, there.
I didn't think it
from
was-
there?
I can't really say. Honestly,
Haven't
my
been there in
favorite
years.
matzo ball soup is my mom's.
See, I don't have that luxury. As a Gentile, we just made chicken noodle. So I feel bad, but we don't have a comparative level. Where's your go? I guess the go-to matzah, is it Katz as well?
Go-to matzah. That's a good question. What's your go-to
If
matzah?
I'm really in the mood for some matzah.
Yeah, if you're looking for that matzo ball soup, is it what? I guess Katz, is that the place?
Well, Katz's so I got a half sandwich and soup. So I got some matzo ball soup and a half pastrami sandwich, and it was amazing. Both things I was really happy with my choices.
I'm not going to lie, that is a very, both of those are cliche. For our Nashville friends, the Hattie B's.
I know. Well, that's because we only had,
KFC's trying
they
to
were,
steal their thunder
for,
now.
in our defense, if anybody thinks we're just being lame tourists by getting Hattie B's or whatever, it was the only place that was open late enough for us to order for it to be there after the show.
Okay.
So we had limited options, but it was delicious.
Hattie B's is good.
Their sides also were delicious.
Still tastes good.
No, they
Collard
are
greens
good.
were really. I normally,
Collard greens so bad.
they were really good. Yeah. Shout out to Moe's Original Barbecue because I love their food and
I'll let you have
their
that
music
one.
fit.
Yeah, and
They help the scene.
Are you talking about Vail, like the one right there on the mountain? Are you talking about here in Denver or Auburn, Alabama?
60 some of them. I've been
they're
to a bunch of
everywhere
them
now.
all over the place. And you know what? They haven't sold out. They're just like. And if they do ever, whatever you call it what you will, they deserve it. Like and Mike Fernandez and his partners that own that business are saints. The thousands of people that they employ across the country doing
Shout
that
out
business.
to our boy Kyle Abear. He runs the one out of Starkville, Mississippi,
Yep.
as well as Oxford. So,
Right on.
Eric Pilcher in Tahoe.
Yep.
I mean, they put more, people to work than
Really?
goddamn
Seriously?
AT&T.
Yeah, damn, dude. Seriously. And it's all people that are really, I don't know, it feels like a family, that it's good business. Anyway, nice trajectory, or nice tangent there. What were we talking
all
about?
about tangents, man.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, food.
Yeah. So, sleep, what's this? All right. So, we
Sleep or
named
food?
sleep. Let's
Are
do
the other
sleep.
band members on the same headspace about it as you? Like, do you guys make it a point to
Be like, we need to
go
try
to
the
not to eat
seafood
anything
in
garbage
Tampa?
on the road?
So our tour manager is vegan.
Oh,
Neil is vegetarian. We all kind of tend to be we tend to eat sort of vegetarian on the road.
do you mean like hummus and veggies, like just snacks kind of on the bus or things of that nature? Or do you mean like y'all kind of splice off and go to different restaurants because of...
Yeah, oftentimes, everybody will... Sometimes we'll do, group, go out as a group, or sometimes we'll just, everybody will go off and do other things, or sometimes, you'll order, DoorDash or whatever to the bus, because there's nothing around. Or
Look for the big black van with all the dark windows, and then just come on willingly. It's
Yeah.
not a
Are you
big
guys
deal.
rolling in a Sprinter or full on tour bus?
both, depending on
the tour.
the run, depending on
Longest
how.
run you've had?
The longest run I've ever been on was the 6 weeks that I did with Chris Robinson Brotherhood. I was out with them October 2nd till November 19th, and then went out a day later with Cats for another week, and was out for a week before all that with Cats. So it's kind of like a 2-month stint that I was.
When does it
Gone
start to
from
take
home.
a toll on you? Like you're like, oh my God, I would love my bed and maybe to masturbate not in a hotel. Like when does that start? Like is that a month in or like?
I don't know. It's never happened to me. I've never had that happen.
You love the road?
I do. I mean, I did have. I miss my girlfriend a lot. Miss
Shout
my
out,
family.
girlfriend.
Shout out to my girlfriend Corinne.
There you go. We shout out people all the time. So definitely
Happy
give her a listen.
early Valentine's Day coming up.
Well, she
Did I
won't
just
listen
date-
to this till
did I just
after.
date this?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Okay, you can take that out.
We're not going to take that out. Get the fuck out of here.
I'll save my mulligan for a more worthy sentence.
Yeah, wait till you use like the F word in an inappropriate sentence.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
when I use mine.
Yeah, honestly, I really did enjoy that tour because it was there was a lot of consistent schedule going on. Like we were playing 5 shows a week and then have 2 days off every week. So every day that was a show day, you'd wake up on the bus after driving all night, sleeping while Wolf, the bus driver, was doing his work.
I was going to ask you, who's the driver and how well do you know him?
Amazing. His name is Wolf, and he's from Florida, and he's like genius, like used to be a pilot. He's like, totally brilliant dude. But anyway, bus drivers are interesting people.
That's what my next question would be like. How did
Very
he come across
interesting.
this like gig, and then also how well are they received? Like when you have to switch out Wolf for somebody else, is it weird? Like who's Tom up here? Tom's kind of a dickhead.
Well, I don't personally know what it's like to have to switch out drivers, but I do know that from hearing from what people have talked about that it can be pretty traumatic because sometimes maybe they're not the most like they don't inspire confidence in the people riding in the bus, and that can be kind of stressful, it seems, for people, to think that the guy up front's like out of his mind or whatever. He's like,
and not in a good way. Not like, oh man, Tommy's wacky and he's fun. No, Tom's running over the yellow line
like
in the middle
Tom
of the fucking
is going to
night.
crash us down a hill when we're all asleep in these bunks. Turn these bunks into, whatever.
Coffins?
So, I don't want to say it. But, yeah, so it's pretty great. You just wake up at the next spot and then go to work, and it's like, for me on that tour, I was doing a lot of prep work, learning the arrangements, making charts, getting ready to not blow the gig, There's so much music, I learned like over the course of that tour, by the end, I had like about 85 songs.
Wow.
That were
They don't repeat songs too often? I don't know.
It's rare.
Talking to the mic, Littman. Pretend like it's a penis. Put it close to your mouth.
It's,
like this?
you go.
You can go and see CRB's set lists a lot. There's they have a large catalog that they pull from, and Chris always makes the set lists and, will send it out to everybody by about noon or 1 o'clock each day or something like that. And then that would give me a chance to go and like, do whatever I needed to do.
Hit the book, so to speak.
Hit the book. So like if I had to look up, go and find a version of, whatever song, I could just ask the Raven, who's their monitor guy and also their archivist, and he's amazing. I'd be like, yo, Raven, do you have a version of the band playing this tune? And a minute later, he'd send me a link to the Dropbox file of that song, and I could like go and listen to it, make my chart if I needed to, or just, figure the tune out by ear and be ready for the sound check at 4 o'clock. And then it's like, or maybe it was 5 o'clock, depending on if it was a weekend night or a weeknight. And then, we do the sound check, and then they'd have a meet and greet thing, which I wasn't a part of. I wasn't in the band,
Yep.
So I would just have an extra hour basically to kind of,
Learn
chill
the ropes
before whatever, go get dinner or, just hang out.
Get the ducks in a row.
Yeah,
and I
as it were.
There you go. And you mentioned Wolf and now Raven. This is a 2-part question. How many people does
How many animal spirits?
The large band, such as like Chris Robinson Brotherhood, is a very large, our well-known band. Phil Lesh, those things they travel in a pack. How many folks are on this bus with you / on tour with you at a given time, and how many of them have names that are animate objects that aren't human names?
Animals?
I don't think birds
or
are
like
birds.
trees.
Well, birds aren't animals, so I had to phrase it.
They're not?
Birds are birds. I think if they're around the kingdom.
I don't know. We're going to have to fact check that one, Kip.
I think I'm right on this one. I'm not going to lie. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
This will be in the caption.
We'll
of the
go
Instagram
with
post.
that. Yeah, we could.
We're also science guys.
This is also a science podcast.
We're splitting atoms, if anyone's curious.
So I guess to answer your question, they're all birds. It depends how big. I guess, usually like Chris Robinson